Single phase transformer. Transformer is an electrical device which raise or lower the voltage corresponds to lower or raise the electrical current anywhere. The definition of transformer is that transformer is an electrical device. Transformer is an electrical device which transfer transfer electrical energy from one electrical circuit to the another electrical circuit keeping its frequency constant. Keeping its frequency constant. It is based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction, that is mutual inductance. Mutual induction. The main thing is that in this transformer, the working principle of transformer is the mutual inductance or electromagnetic induction, where the electrical connection is only given to the primary winding and the secondary winding is induced. It means whenever one electrical circuit is energized from AC supply, then after the secondary winding is also energized. It means the secondary winding is not electrically connected with the primary winding whenever the secondary winding is induced. This phenomenon is known as the electromagnetic induction. It is works on only where the core is connected magnetically. That means core is interlinked with magnetically, and due to this, the primary winding is energized. Energized means we give current into the primary side, and the primary winding is wound over the limbs on the transformer core, and the primary winding is energized. That means the EMF will be produced in primary winding, and after that the secondary winding will also introduced on its own EMF. That means the EMF will be produced or induced. This phenomenon is known as the induction phenomenon. We explain you in the figure. Keep watch this video. This is the core of transformer. Core of transformer made from so many thin laminated iron materials. That means so many thin sheets are collaborates or associate with each other, and due to this the limb will connected with the copper wire. This copper wire known as primary winding. This is the primary winding where we give the AC supply. AC supply. Primary winding have the voltage on primary side and current I1 on primary side. This is known as the primary winding or primary side. Similarly, the secondary side will be connected by the copper wire or wound by the copper material which is connected through the load. This is the load terminal by which known as secondary winding or secondary side. If you see properly, there are many number of turns wound among the core of links. It means these number of turns produced as inductance. It is as like inductor which produced EMF. As you know about whenever the current supplied through the inductor, the strong magnetic field will be produced among these inductors. So that's why the strong magnetic flux will be produced among all over the core of this transformer. So the transformer core will magnetically interlink with each other. Here there are two different electrical circuit is placed. There is no interconnection between electrically primary winding and electrical secondary winding, but the magnetically interlinked by which the common flux phi will be circulate around all over the iron core. This is the laminated iron core. Laminated core. Laminated core. Suppose that the number of turns on primary winding is N1 and similarly the number of turns on secondary winding is N2. Suppose that these number of turns produce its own EMF. That means there are the strong electromagnetic field creates in this inductor. Creates by in this inductor. So the EMF will be produced E1. E1 is the potential or voltage developed by these inductors. Similarly, if the flux will be circulate or spread out over the core, then the flux will also circulate among these inductors, and that's why a strong EMF will be induced on secondary winding. So that's why E2 will be known as the secondary EMF or secondary voltage developed by this inductor or coil of winding. Okay, and suppose that if the EMF will be produced, then the current will be developed among secondary winding. So the I2 will be developed current or induced current by the primary winding, which is the working or which is the principle of the induction. That is mutual induction means one side is supplied or energized with the primary, then the secondary is generally induced. Okay, where V1, where V1 supply voltage or primary voltage similarly I1 supply current or primary current, and N1 is the number of turns in primary side. Similarly, E1 EMF produced in primary coil means this inductance. There are so many electrical wire are wound among these links. So these wound links, wound copper wire are known as coil. Okay, this is the coil, and phi is the common magnetic flux. Phi is the common magnetic flux. Okay, and similarly we explain the secondary side. V2 will be the terminal voltage or load voltage or secondary voltage or secondary voltage. If you see properly, the number of turns on secondary side will be N2. N2 is the number of turns on secondary side. Number of turns on secondary side. Okay, and the E2 will be the EMF developed or produced on secondary side. Similarly, I2 is the induced current on secondary side. Thank you for watching for this video.